In May 2020, the average median wage in the US was $20.17. Now, most people, if not everyone, wants to become rich, attain financial independence, and live a life of a work as you please. But the rising cost of living means that the average job just isn't enough. And in an effort to make more money just to be able to get by, people are told to work towards a promotion, get a higher paying job, do overtime, get a second or third job.
I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working here. I got another job at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Imagine making an additional $1,500 per month, all in pure passive income without doing anything. And no, I'm not selling you a course. I'm talking about dividends. Dividends are probably the easiest way to generate passive income. It takes no effort. And with consistency and a little bit of patience, you can grow your earnings well beyond your expectations. I'm gonna share with you exactly what this means, the #1 mistake to avoid that all beginners make, and the top 7 dividend stocks that I personally own. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam, and before we jump in guys, do me a huge favor and like the video for the YouTube algorithm to get a semi, and subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on. It's 3 quick clicks for you guys, but it really helps this channel out. That being said, let's jump in. In order for you to get rich or attain financial freedom, you need to diversify your income. You can't just rely on one income source. You need to have multiple streams of passive income. When you get yourself to a position where you are getting paid in your sleep, that's when you're really building a financial empire. And one of the purest and easiest ways to get started in building passive income is dividend investing. If you're not familiar, a dividend is basically a portion of a company's earnings that they redistribute to all its shareholders. See, when you buy stock and own shares of a company, you are technically part owner of that company. So as a reward for you investing your hard-earned money into that company, these companies redistribute some of its earnings and pay out a dividend to you. Not all companies do this, and those that do aren't entitled or owe you a dividend. They can cut it at any time, but they don't want to do that. Companies strive to continuously pay out dividends, and not only that, but actually strive to increase their dividend payments every single year so that they could entice existing and new investors into buying into the company. So amongst all the dividend stocks that are out there, here are 7 of the best paying dividend stocks that I own. First is Realty Income, ticker symbol O. Realty Income is a REIT, otherwise known as a real estate investment trust. A REIT is a company that owns and manages income producing real estate, and then they redistribute all the earnings from the paying tenants back to all the shareholders. Now, I really like Realty Income simply because they specialize in single tenant commercial properties, and these properties generally tend to be recession proof. Some of their biggest clients is FedEx, Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy, Walmart, 7-Eleven, Home Depot, amongst a bunch of others. With a dividend yield of 4.03%, O has grown their dividend payments over the past consecutive 27 years, ever since it first went public in 1994, increasing its dividend by 3.36% on average per year. Even during some of the biggest economic recessions, Realty Income has consistently been able to pay out a dividend because all the tenants of their properties aren't delinquent on their payments, because those businesses itself is recession proof. Now, they have a very diversified portfolio of many different clients, but it's one of my favorite REITs. The second stock is Lowe's. Lowe's is a sleeping giant, and this is just a beautiful stock. With a dividend yield of 1.24%, Lowe's pays an annual dividend of $2.40 per share. They have consistently grown their dividend payments over the past consecutive 47 years, with an average dividend increase of roughly 13.97% per year. Now, why is this mammoth slept on and so many people don't really pay attention to it? And why do I like it so much if it only pays a dividend yield of 1.24%? This leads me into the #1 mistake that most beginners make, and you should definitely avoid. With a dividend yield of 1.24%, that means that they pay $1.24 per every $100 invested. Now, people want more bang for their buck, so usually people are searching for those big juicy double-digit dividend yields. But a dividend yield is only one part of the picture. Whenever you invest in a company, you need to assess everything holistically. You can't just look at the dividend yield. A lot of these companies that show these double-digit dividend yields might attract new investors, but people fail to pay attention to the stock's actual price action. If the underlying stock of a company actually actually depreciates in value, making the dividend yield go up, what good is it that your payments increase but the actual value of your holding decreases? To illustrate this point, we'll look at a company with a high dividend yield. Take AT&T for example. Now, tracking the historical performance of AT&T, let's imagine that we invested $2,500 initially into AT&T stock on July 19th, 2011. We would then also look to make a periodic investment of $200 every single month. So in addition to the initial $2,500 we invested, we're going to also be making a regular $200 contribution into the company. Now, with all of the payments that we continuously make, as well as compounding all the dividend payments right back into the company, we can see that after 10 years, we will have a final value of $31,113. That's an annual return of 3.05%. Now, conversely, if we look at a company like Lowe's and we did the exact same thing, invested $2,500 initially into Lowe's with regular periodic investments of $200 per month, while also reinvesting all the dividends we earned back into the company. After 10 years, we would have $113,399, which works out to an annual return rate of 25.34%. Lowe's has a dividend yield of 1.24%. AT&T has a dividend yield north of 7%. But despite the far smaller dividend yield that Lowe's has compared to AT&T, Lowe's is a far better and more attractive option, historically speaking. The point is, a high dividend yield is very nice, but don't just pay attention solely to that. You need to pay attention to many other elements when assessing whether or not a dividend stock is a good investment.
Okay.
Jumping back, my third favorite stock is McDonald's. That's flat. Macadocious has a dividend yield of 2.20%, paying an annual dividend of $5.16 per share. McDonald's has consistently grown their dividend payments over the past 45 consecutive years, with a dividend increase of 9.58% on average per year. People love McDonald's. Whether the economy is booming or in a recession, McDonald's always seems to perform very, very well. The fourth stock is Coca-Cola. Now, this is Warren Buffett's go-to baby. And I gotta admit, I'm with the old man on this one. Coca-Cola pays an annual dividend of $1.68 per share, with a dividend yield at 3.01%. Coke has consistently increased its dividend payments for the past consecutive 59 years, with an average dividend growth of 3.48% per year. When it comes to dividend investing, you really want to look at what kind of sector and industry the company is in and whether or not they can consistently redistribute its earnings without depleting the company of any kind of capital that they might need. This is otherwise known as the payout ratio. For example, technology. Tech is consistently evolving. We're always seeing new innovations every single day from new competitors in an effort to capture additional market share and beat out other companies. Thus, every single company is in a race to outperform one another in order to maintain dominance or acquire dominance in the competitive landscape that is the tech sector. This is why Apple pays a much lower payout ratio than a company like Coke. Coke isn't constantly reinventing the wheel. They maintain a certain level of capital in order to invest into R&D, but for the most part, a Coke is a Coke. They just keep selling the same thing and people will consistently keep buying, and that's why we like it so much. You don't need to constantly reinvent the wheel. It's a solid staple go-to drink that everyone loves, and we can collect those payments. The fifth stock I like is Johnson & Johnson. With a dividend yield of 2.52%, paying an annual dividend of $4.24 per share, Johnson & Johnson has consistently grown their dividend payments over the past consecutive 59 years, increasing its dividend payout by an average 6.23% per year. The sixth stock is Procter & Gamble, with P&G paying an annual dividend of $3.48 per share, coming in with a 2.49% dividend yield. P&G has also consistently grown its dividend payments over the past 59 consecutive years, increasing its dividend on average per year by 4.42%. Finally, our seventh stock is Colgate-Palmolive, with an annual dividend payment of $1.80 per share, with a dividend yield of 2.18%. They've also grown their dividend payments over the past 59 consecutive years, increasing its dividend by 3.25% per year on average. Now, I know the thought here is, okay, in order for you to generate $1,500 per month in dividend payments, you need to have invested at least X amount of dollars into a diversified dividend portfolio where X is a lot of money. But if you actually take time to look at a historical calculator and actually dissect some of the numbers and play around with it, if you invested $2,500 initially and then matched $100 or $50 every single month while reinvesting all the earnings that you made back into those companies, how much would you have generated over the span of 5 years or 10 years? You would then get a better understanding of exactly how much money you can truly make with consistency, patience, and hard work. If you make a single penny off of dividends, that is a penny you didn't have before. If you make 10 cents off of dividends, 10 cents isn't that far away from 20 cents. 20 is not that far away from 50. 50 is not that far away from $1. And $1 is not that far away from $2. 2 is not that far away from 5. So on and so forth. You continuously compound all of your earnings, and before you know it, you're gonna be making a lot of money. Regardless of how much you make when you first get started, the idea is to just get started. Using the drip method, reinvest everything that you make back into the company and look to grow your account as quickly and as efficiently as possible. You almost want to get greedy with how fast you want to grow your account. When you focus all your efforts and attention on that, it'll grow much faster than you think. Again, guys, to reiterate, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is just for informational purposes and entertainment value only. Do the things today that tomorrow you will thank you for. You want to look back a year from now at your current self and thank them for doing what they did in order to get you to where you are or where you're gonna be. Did I say that right? I'm totally butchering this quote. Guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel down below with bell notifications on, share the video, and leave a comment down below. Till the next one.